Sterling Moss at Sandown, and also did a lot of the run-around work for Team Lotus in the United States.
3 laps remaining.
And has had a fairly lean time in Australian motor racing in the last couple of years, with Australian Sports Car Championship in, I think, 1980. But as far as touring cars go, it's been a long time between drinks for Alan Moffat, endurance champion of 1982. But he'd really love to give Mazda their first touring car victory. And he's continuing to try to consolidate that idea at the moment. Moffat, who so far in the series had a win at Calder in the first round. You'll all recall did not finish at Sandown in the second round, where when trying to get past Alan Grice, the back end of the Mazda was hopping and leaping all over the road, and he broke an axle, and that put him out of the running. Of course, he finished second at Symonds Plains. Another great battle between himself and Alan Grice. Monterey, of course, he picked up a win. Adelaide, he came second in a gap that was immeasurable to Peter Brock. First place at Surfers Paradise, and now shooting for a possible another win in the Australian Touring Car Championship, the 7th round at Oran Park. Put the car on pole position on 2 occasions this season at Adelaide and Surfers Paradise. And in the race which we really expected to be a big carve up and lots of panel crashing, it's been the one round in the Touring Car Championship so far which has been fairly sedate. Moffat establishing a clear lead in the early stages, Brock in second position, Grice in third, fending Barry Jones in fourth. Brock, the 6 times winner of the James Hardy 1000 Round Australia Repco Trial winner. Done his fair share at the wheel of General Motors products over the years, and Tiranas and Commodores and Monaros.
One lap to go for Alan Moffat of the Oran Park long circuit, the Grand Prix circuit. 2.6 kilometres around. 5 seconds the gap back to Peter Brock.
Moffat, who on occasions has shared his drives with great names like Jackie Ickx at Mount Panorama at Bathurst, Brian Redmond for a win in the Sebring 12 Hour, Derek Bell, Dieter Quester, and has to be regarded together with this man here, Peter Brock, as one of the world's top touring car drivers or sedan drivers. Every time our international counterparts come to Australia, they comment on the skill and the brilliance of these two men. Moffat, an intense and demanding racing driver, as he comes down now to BP Corner, or should I say through NGK, over the top of the rise.
And if it hadn't been for a momentary lapse at Sandown in Victoria earlier this year, when he locked up the rear end and tore it out of the motor car, Alan Moffat would have almost a perfect result in the Australian Touring Car Championship. There goes the checkered flag for Alan Moffat's 4th win this year in 7 rounds of the Australian Touring Car Championship. Peter Brock goes through in 2nd place. That's the 3rd second that Peter Brock has taken, adding to 1 win and a 9th position. But for Alan Moffat, 2 fourths and a 2nd. 1 did not finish in 7 rounds of the Australian Touring Car Championship.
And the gap at the finish line was 1.93 seconds between Moffat and Brock.
Well, Alan, if there was ever any doubts what's the fastest touring car around Australia, there shouldn't be after today.
Well, I have to say that chasing Peter around those opening laps did remind me a bit of what it was like in the old days with the V8, so I think we can honestly say now the Rotary has come of age, because to be able to win here certainly gives us a great deal of encouragement anywhere in Australia now.
Did you ever have any doubts once you got past Peter?
Yes, I did, because I crunched my gearbox up a couple of times. He's pretty quick with his changes, and I missed a couple while I was chasing him, and I was a little bit nervous about it, so I was a little bit easier on it after I got through.
Well, we have heard from Cams today that your 13B engine that you have requested has been approved. How do you feel about that? I know that's putting the medal on you right at the sudden moment, but how do you feel?
Oh, I think what has to be understood about that it's not that we just get something. Everybody has got something. We're going to see a new BMW. We're going to see a big modified Commodore. We're going to see a revamped Falcon. And I think it's the greatest decision that's ever been made, because it allows everyone in the field to go to Bathurst and have at least what we think is, arithmetically in a way, an even break. And I see Peter smiling over there now. I know right now, over the next 3 months, there are plenty of things you can do to a Commodore. And there was only one thing we could do to a Mazda, and that's put a little bit bigger engine in it.
Well, congratulations, Alan, and we'll see you at Lakeside for the final round.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that.
Congratulations. Well, before we go, I might just grab Peter Brock. Peter, could I have you over for a moment, mate?
Sure.
You've got your back to the camera. You won't get any plugs that way. Congratulations, mate. You just couldn't catch him in the end.
No, I gave it everything last 10 or so laps, and sort of sliding around a fair bit. It was going off the end of the straight, I thought, fairly well. A couple of places on the track I felt very happy with how the car was speeding along, but every time I caught him a couple of tenths, he'd sort of pull out a couple of tenths, so it's just there. But I still haven't caught up to you, Al. Anyway, it was a good race, and it was a fast race, and I got a great start, and I don't think I could have expected to do much better.
I did put the word on Alan. I asked him how he felt about the approval for the 13B as far as the request for changes for next year or for the next season coming up and the endurance races. How do you feel about that?
Well, I don't know. Has it been approved, or hasn't it?
13B has been approved.
Well, it's news to me. That's a nice way to break the news to the major competitors, isn't it, eh?
Well, we break the news to the motor racing fraternity around Australia during our telecast.
Yes, well, unfortunately, the people most concerned financially were in the car circulating at the time. But never, be that as it may, it'll make Bathurst a very, very close race. There's no doubt about that. It remains to be seen what we can do at these type of races, which unfortunately about 90% of Australian racing is on fairly tight circuits. Just what we can do. But anyway.